It's hard to know where to start, but I know this. Spencer Rattler was benched at the half, guys, right? I mean, the quarterback who you saw in that highlight, benched at the half, so he came back, and he really did a great job, and especially in overtime.
He grew up just the confidence, emotionally, mentally. I've been benched before a couple times in the NFL, and it's tough to come back from. And it was really a tale of two halves for him. And we have the numbers that we're going to pull up for a second. But the first half, we talked about a coach panicking, right? Threw a couple an interception and a fumble. And then how about the second half, guys? He took what the defense gave him. He was more decisive in the run game. He was more active. He was more throwing the football. He was more mobile. And this drive was huge. He had a couple key third down conversions, throwing the football. But right here, he pulls it, and then he goes for it. He just gets yards, and he put a lot more pressure on the defense in the second half. He could have went in the tank. He didn't. He made some massive plays in the second half. And then, Coach, I know we're going to talk about that overtime, those throws, but boy, was he special.
He's special. Before you go there, Sam Ehlinger, I can't say enough about that guy. That was one of the gutsiest. I know there were 2 picks, but that's a man's man now. That's a guy, when you see that effort, just was incredible. But when you see Spencer grew up tonight. I mean, he got benched, like you said. He was getting hammered early in the game. He gets benched, comes out, and then we used to have a saying, when I needed you the most, you gave us your very best. The last 2 throws were right here. He steps up. The kid's got a beautiful release, great arm strength. And watch this throw. This is a dot. I mean, he dots the freaking eye right there to win the game. And that was exceptional performance. When he has vision, you see his release and the ball come out as fast as he does. He's got a great future, that kid.
Yeah. What a comeback story by him to just, like you said, to be able to just fight through those growing pains, fight through that adversity. He grew up before our eyes, in this football game. On the flip side, I thought his defense also grew up a little bit too, because before the game, I was on Alex Grinch about getting his players in position to succeed. And we see they responded this week. They were not repeat offenders for the most part. They got after Sam Ehlinger. They got pressure on him. They got in his face. They made it ugly. They made it tough for him. They got interceptions. They thought that was the game-winning interception, and it actually wasn't. This was the game-winning interception. And so I thought this defense just showed up when they needed them most. We've been talking all season long just about how their players got to get better. They got to get better at tackling. They still got to get better at tackling, but at very least they showed up when the team needed them most.
I know we're not at the State Fair, but I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride the entire game, right?
Definitely
was. The first half was sloppy. We talked about the benching. Second half, then you started to see all of a sudden Oklahoma started getting into control.
Yeah.
But then the Oklahoma defense, that was a question. They let Texas back in the door, and then the overtime, obviously, and the way the game ended, you see Texas lose. And so I kind of come out of this game still having questions about the Oklahoma defense, still having questions, where does Texas go now? But, Coach, you said it best. Sam Ehlinger, the career he's had so far at Texas, the story, it's not finished. They haven't written the final chapter, but just the way he willed his team back into this football game, you just feel like Texas is never out because of his ability late in games to bring them back, utilizing his legs, and just tough, gutsy runs. This dude is a leader. This dude is the type of guy you want to have on your team, want to play with. So I know it didn't work out where they won today, but he's had a phenomenal career there, and I think there's still a shot. Look, outside chance, but still a shot they can make their way into the Big 12 championship game, and maybe we see these 2 teams play again. It'd be a heck of a lot of fun to see that happen.
Well, they both have next week off. They're going to need it. They're going to need to catch their breath after today. And on Ehlinger, I just love what Coach said as we're watching that game. He just said, look how dirty his uniform is. I mean, that was a fun football game.
Usually that's not a good thing for a quarterback.
It depends on who your quarterback is.
Back of his jersey's dirty, that's bad. Front of his jersey's, all right. Back, we got a problem.
There you go.
Start your Saturday strong at 10 Eastern with the legendary college football lineup on the Big Noon Kickoff Show. Big Noon Kickoff on Fox.